It's time to
Good.
talk horse racing, Kentucky Derby style. It's already here. That's right, the Kentucky Derby for 2022. We're here to finally preview the race. And as you can see, unfortunately, because of the weather, our top two analysts are indoors. Jon Hardoon from the Sheets and Chad Summers, Thoroughbred horse trainer. How's it going, guys?
Good. Very good.
Enthusiastic. Chad.
Chad, wait.
Hello.
What?
We're on the air,
Yes,
baby.
We're here. We're ready.
All right. You got the matching caps. I like that. Is that like some synergy for Cyberknife?
Sure. Why not?
All right. And then, by the way, after we preview the Kentucky Derby, we are going to also take a look at tomorrow's Kentucky Oaks. We're filming this on Thursday. So this show will be posted up on the channel for free, probably at about, I'd say, around 6, 7 o'clock this evening on Thursday evening. So more than enough time for the Kentucky Oaks and the Kentucky Derby. Anything going on there? You've only been there for a few hours, Jon. You've been there for 4 or 5 days, Chad. Anything going on that we should know?
Yeah, the Oaks is going to be Friday and the Derby is going to be on Saturday.
Excellent.
No, look, everything's good here. I mean, we had some spells of weather. It is the first week in May, so you always have to deal with the weather. We might have to deal with weather on Friday for the Oaks and weather on Saturday on the Derby. So we got to just kind of, keep our eyes on the Al Roker report as the weekend continues and see what goes on. But, the horses collectively in both the Oaks and the Derby have looked very, very good. It's among the deeper fields that we've seen in years, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I was looking over the Oaks just a little while ago, and I was very impressed. There's 3 undefeated fillies in the Oaks.
The Oaks is a great betting race, too, to be honest with you. I like a big price horse there, but when we get to it, we'll discuss it after the Derby.
All right. Well, let's get right to it because we have 20 horses to preview. So let's go through this as best we can. Again,
we want to preview 21 horses. There, scratch time tomorrow is at 9 a.m. So I think we should also preview Rich Strike just in case he happens to draw it.
Okay, we'll do that.
Sounds like Chad may know something here that he doesn't want to tell us, but that's good. Hello.
All right, let's start with the 1, Mo Donegal. Unfortunately, got the 1 position, and that's really the only negative because the sheets are excellent. The last 3 races, 13, 9, 7, won the Wood Memorial. Of course, this is one of the Pletcher horses. I guess the good thing, though, you tell me, Chad, because you have a horse that you love the sheets. You should love the sheets, but then the post position's terrible. Yet, as Pletcher said, at least the horse has had some experience from the 1 hole. Not that it's with 20 horses, but his rationale is at least out of the horses that I'm training in this Derby, Mo Donegal may be the best equipped to handle the 1 position, whose last 2 wins have actually come from the 1 position. So are you going to just throw out Mo Donegal completely because of the position, or do you really love what you see here based on the sheets and the overall talent of the horse?
One was in a 7-horse field or 8-horse field, and one was this is totally different with 20 horses. And there's another problem. This is the first time he's coming back relatively close. Usually he has more time between races. You would have liked another 2 weeks. This horse is just as likely to react off the 7 than to repeat or make a forward move, in my opinion. Chad?
Well, I think the thing with Mo Donegal, the post won't hurt him. With the new gate, post 1 is different than post 1 was in years past because now they have a 20-horse gate. They don't have 2 gates kind of combined together to make 1. So there's a little bit more room, and the horse has no early speed. I read Ortiz is going to be in no rush with him whatsoever. He knows where he's going to be. He's run races that are fast enough to win this race. However, at the end of the day, he's going to have to pass 17 horses at least, maybe even more. And it's very difficult to do that. It's been done before with horses like Mind That Bird, but those were relatively weak derbies. This is not a weak derby. This field from top to bottom, or at least top to 10, is as deep a derby field as I can remember in a long time, Jon. I mean, you've been doing this for a long time, but this isn't one of those derbies where it's like, there's two horses and there's everybody else. There's American Pharoah and there's everybody else. This is a Kentucky Derby that's wide open. It's loaded with possibilities. If you like Mo Donegal, you know, you want to take him on the bottom for the try or the super, you can. I happen to think that he's not even going to hit the board. We'll see him in the Belmont Stakes. Maybe he'll hit the board in the Belmont Stakes, but I do not like him at all. Come Saturday, you watch him train. He does nothing wrong. He's a typical kind of route horse where he's not going to wow you in the morning time with his gallops, with his breezes. Physically in the morning time, just hasn't done it for me. And for whatever it's worth, Todd Pletcher that likes to take the three Derby horses out at the same time. His Amelia Green, who gets on Life is Good and gets on all the good horses, is on this horse, representing him as their best chance. But I do not think he has the best chance of the Pletcher 3.
All right, some quick notes. Believe it or not, last year, Irad Ortiz Jr. and Todd Pletcher both combined to run out the 2021 Derby with the number 1 post position horse, Known Agenda. So once again, Irad Ortiz Jr. and Todd Pletcher have the number 1 post position. Known Agenda was a 6-1 morning line favorite last year and finished 8th. By the way, since 1964, only one horse has won the Derby from the pole. Do you know which horse that is? Ferdinand. Right. 1986. And the Wood Memorial.
I won a $3 future wager on Cyberknife.
What's that?
Do I get the Cyberknife future wager?
I didn't even know we had a Cyberknife futures wager contest.
No, we don't got one. Okay,
11 winners. By the way, this is the Wood winner. 11 winners have won both the Wood and the Derby, but the last to do it,
to win the Wood and win the Derby, you got to go back a long
2000.
way. I don't know. Who was it?
Luziachi Pegasus. Okay, let's go to number 2. Happy Jack.
The next year, the winner came from there too, but Monarcos was second.
Happy Jack, 30-1 shot. The sheets don't look good. Yeah, this is going to be one of the deep long shots, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, the thing you can say about Happy Jack,
you can't say anything about
Doug O'Neill's got 2 Kentucky Derby wins.
Okay, that's true.
I can say that.
Yeah, you can say that. That's a fact.
So Doug O'Neill knows how to win this race.
Yes, he does.
Most of the trainers in this race have not won this race.
That's true.
Okay, he breezed a mile yesterday last week at Keeneland. None of the other trainers did that.
Okay.
He tried.
Yeah.
He gave it a shot.
Why not?
He's going to close.
He's got no shot.
Okay.
Next.
The 3 is one of the favorites, Epicenter, 7-2 shot. An Epicenter, the Louisiana Derby winner, Rosario on board. We talked about Steve Asmussen, Chad. He's trying to get over the hump and win his first Kentucky Derby. The sheets are excellent, John. You take a look at them from the very first race till his last race, which was the win in the Louisiana Derby. He has pretty much gone straight arrow, all ahead in every race, including the 6 last time out.
I have nothing to say bad about this horse. The timing coming into the race is fine. The sheet is perfect, like you said. He's never gone backwards, but he's got to repeat or make a forward move. The question is the 6 the end of the line or not? We'll find out on Saturday.
What about the 3 position, Chad? We just talked about how tough it is with the 1 position. The last Derby winner from the 3rd position was back in 1998. You know who that was?
That was the winner after the 1997.
And the one before the 99.
Exactly.
Who was the winner?
Real quiet. So what do you think about the 3rd position? Because this is just this is a tough position as well.
Look, this is actually an interesting one that the 3 has not had more success. And a lot of times what happens with the 3 post, especially like here, right? So Happy Jack and Mo Donegal from 1 and 2 have no early speed, okay? So what's going to happen is the 4, which we're going to talk about in a second, Summers tomorrow, and some of these other horses, the 6, Messier and Crown Pride outside of him, they're all going to hustle for the lead. Now, there's a long run to the turn. You actually do have time to get over. But what happens is these jockeys want to get over and save ground because it's the furthest their horses ever run in their life. They're going to try and get over and save ground. And what happens is if you're not holding your position, you're behind. And Joel Rosario is a smart jockey. He's won the Kentucky Derby before. He's aware of that. He's going to have to use the horse to get out. Now, when we first started doing our Monday shows and started our Derby countdowns back in January or whenever it was, we said, man, Epicenter needs the lead. We thought Epicenter was going to be in trouble to win the Kentucky Derby because he needs the lead. And then in the Louisiana Derby, he showed a new dimension. He showed he was able to win off of it. But he sat the perfect trip. He's had the perfect trip in every one of these races, maybe other than the LeComte, which he lost and ran second. But the Gun Runner, he was wire to wire, easy as can be. The Risen Star, the horses behind him, Zenden and Smile Happy, had trouble. He had a perfect trip. And Louisiana Derby, I mean, you could not have scripted that to be any more of a better trip. Now, he beat a really nice horse in Zozos, and I mean, he looked like a Ferrari going by him around the turn, and the race was over, and he was able to save some horse. But Joel Rosario is going to have to use the horse get out of the gate. Now, last year, his horse did not get out of the gate at all. He was supposed to be the speed of the speed last year with Rock Your World, and he got tangled up leaving the gate and lost all chance at the start. So I would think that Joel Rosario will be ready for the start. For some reason, Don Chatlos looks like Paulo Lobo while we're watching this show. At the end of the day, though, the biggest thing to me is Epicenter needs to get himself in the perfect spot. And I don't know that he can get himself in the perfect spot from that post.
What he should really do is probably just go to the lead.
He really should. He should kind of revert back to those old tactics.
That's what I would do if I was him.
I don't think that they will.
Me
especially
neither, because
with Joel Rosario.
they're going to think that they can rate now.
Correct.
Right, and they're going to find themselves all of a sudden in a jackpot, I think.
However, look, at the end of the day, I still think that Epicenter is going to end up going off as the favorite.
Me too.
I don't think that Zenden's going to go off as the favorite.
Why?
I agree with Chad.
Why? Because Zenden's done nothing to be the favorite. I was favored over him. My horse was favored off him first out. Me. I listen. Zanden, for some reason, became the buzz horse off two good works, and there's three horses that work better than him the last 2 weeks.
Didn't Mo Donegal and Epicenter both beat Zanden already?
Yes.
They both beat Zanden already. Both Mo Donegal and Epicenter already beat Zanden. And Smile Happy.
And Matt Doyle got beat by half a horse?
Yes. Matt Doyle should be here. Where is Matt?
He's on the phone.
He's on the phone.
Yeah, but here's the other thing, though, Chad, and we talked about this the other day. It with as close as a Derby this is as far as contenders, even if that's true, Epicenter winds up becoming the favorite, still shouldn't be 3 or 4 to 1.
No, the morning line's ridiculous. The guy that made this morning line should be embarrassed.
Look, at the end of the day, the favorite in this race this year, with the depth of this field, I think should be no less than 5 to 1. And
I agree with you.
The favorite will go off at 3 to 1 for this reason and this reason only. Mattress Mac, who famously owns Run Happy, has decided to give away more mattresses. I don't know where he finds all these mattresses.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
What if he bets his $5 million on?
No, he's betting it on the favorite because
he's going to wait. And
he
what if
waits.
the money?
No,
what
no,
if
no,
they're
no.
both 3 to 1? How does he know?
He makes it the favorite. It doesn't matter. His money changes
no
the
one's
line.
going to put $5 million.
Right. His money changes the line. So at the end of the day, whoever's close, and I think it'll be Epicenter, will end up being the favorite. Now, he could pull a fast one and put all the money on Smile Happy, and then Smile Happy could be close to the favorite. But at the end of the day, look, this show, from Jonathan's standpoint, is about finding winners and making money. From my standpoint, it's about finding winners. And whatever the money lies, the money lies.
That's what Chad likes to do. Find winners and don't make money. That takes talent, by the way.
And Epicenter is a horse who I'm just afraid we've seen his best effort.
Okay.
That's the whole question. Did you reach the end of the line? You can't keep moving forward. So somewhere you hit the end of the line. That's why you really want to play a horse in the Derby that may not have run his best race last time out, like the horse we're going to get to.
Like last year. Mandaloon.
Yeah. Mandaloon's line is exactly like Cyberknife's line, to be honest with you, or pretty similar to it.
But what does it take to win the Derby? Look, you've been doing the sheets for a long time. What does it take to win?
You're going to need a 5 or 6 to win this year's
How
Derby.
many horses are capable of running a 5 or 6?
6 horses.
Okay. All right. Is Epicenter one of the 6?
Yes.
Okay. Next.
All
right. By the way, the Louisiana Derby connections are kind of interesting because the last 2 Derby winners, and we're not going to include 2020 with that schedule mess, but the last 2 Kentucky Derby winners made the Louisiana Derby their final tune-up, even though they did not win either race. There have only been 2 Louisiana Derby winners and Kentucky Derby winners in the same season. The last was Grindstone back in 1996.
1996.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Summer's tomorrow. So Summer's tomorrow. This is one of those Dubai horses that Chad is well-versed in. I find it interesting. Did a little homework on Mikel Barzala, who won the Dubai World Cup.
Barcelona. Yes, that's the correct.
That's how you say it. Oh yeah, Barcelona. I wrote it wrong. You got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And he won the Dubai World Cup with Monterosso in 2012, and also the Breeders' Cup Turf with Talismanic in 2017. I only bring that up because not a lot of people who aren't experts like you guys may know the qualifications of such a accomplished rider like Barcelona. So anyway, tell us about Summers tomorrow, Chad.
Well, first of all, his ride on Talismanic was one of the greatest rides of all time. That was a brilliant ride. That was on the grass. Mikel Barcelona is known more for his grass rides. He is one of the better dirt riders from the European riders, and he rode this horse last time and so gets to stay aboard. However, I do feel kind of bad for a rider there. I believe he's a 13-time winner in Dubai, Taj O'Shea, who actually picked this horse out for the owners.
That was a thank you.
And has been riding the horse, and I think he had his hopes set on coming here and riding the horse. So hopefully Taj is watching back home and rooting for the horse. He looks good. He's a cool horse. Trainer Bhupat Simar, first year officially as a trainer, was an assistant for his uncle Satish Simar for the last several years in Dubai, and was really doing all of the meat and potatoes of the work. And so it's good to have him get rewarded. And look, it costs the connections, and we talked about this on the show on Monday, Greg, but it costs the connections about $100,000 just to get here. Okay. This isn't something where you come over you get 100,000, but what about the spread you get in your box on Saturday? Yeah. This is $100,000 where you're coming over here because you think you have a chance. And the argument can be made that Summer is Tomorrow is the fastest horse in the race. And last time was his first time around 2 turns, and he got a little tired. So, if you like the horse, if you want to get a cheap thrill and see those silks in front for a little while, Summer is Tomorrow. The first time they go around the first turn, when NBC pans to that awkward head-on shot where all you see is the horse in front and then a bunch of legs behind, it could be Summer is Tomorrow. But at the end of the day, I don't think he really wants to go a mile and a quarter. But I applaud the horsemanship in coming over here and giving it a shot.
Taj, the rider that got bumped, you saved nothing but time and aggravation with flying and everything else, because this horse has 0 chance. 0. He sprinted in every race of his life until the last race when they sent him long in Dubai. He's a sprinter. I mean, not only that, he's a slow horse.
Might be aggressive.
Okay, so that's the whole point. You need a single digit to win this race. He has a 17 going long. He has no chance. Next.
The one thing I will say, though, lastly, about Mikel Barcelona, that for people who don't know him, he is a very aggressive rider out of the gate.
That's good.
So when you're talking about just part of it is formulating kind of in your mind and playing through how the race is going to go. Right. Joel Rosario is going to have to protect his position because Mikel Barcelona will have no problem coming out of the gate and going over and getting over and trying to save as much ground as he can. If he outbreaks Epicenter could end up getting himself in no man's land, because as we continue going through some of these other horses, they're going to be kind of all jumbled up. It's very, very important that Joel Rosario breaks out of that gate and is in a forward position.
How long is he sitting in there? 3 sits in there for a while,
that's the other thing. Well,
right?
it's a double load, but the 3 will be in there for at least 3 minutes.
Exactly. The 3 is going to be sitting in there for a while.
So they call it the fastest 2 minutes in sports. That might be the longest 3 minutes of Joel Rosario's life, waiting for them to spot the ledge.
Next is 5, Smile Happy, and I'm going to play Smile Happy this year the way I played Mandaloon, because Mandaloon, again, we talked about it. A lot of people liked Mandaloon last year up until the disappointing Louisiana Derby. Then everybody forgot about him, and that's what I'm thinking about Smile Happy, because I look at the sheets, 14, 10, 9, 7. All the horse does is move up in the sheets. You're getting 20 to 1. The horse lost to Zanden and Epicenter in the last 2 races. Those are the 2 favorites of this race. I'm looking for some value. I like the value of Smile Happy, and that's why I'm going to use the same tactic that I did last year with Mandaloon and make Smile Happy my top choice.
The only difference is Mandaloon came into the Derby last year with a non-effort. He ran the 13 coming into the Derby. His previous races to the 13 were good enough. This horse has never gone backwards. Listen, this horse is fine. At 20 to 1, you should be using him somewhere. He's similar to other horses in the race. He's similar to Mo Donegal. He's never gone backwards. His horse 4 starts, each race better than the previous one. But again, this one race is a little closer. You would have liked probably another week or 2 time off. But listen, at 20 to 1, anyone that wants to use this horse, I can't knock.
This is my biggest knock against the entire card. I'm watching this horse train all week, or not want to train all week, has a lot to do with it.
Well,
he worked in company last week with he worked in company with Tiz the Bomb, the turf horse, and by design they didn't want to break off so fast. But for some reason he broke off about 5 lengths behind him, and they got to the wire, and he was still almost 5 lengths behind, maybe 3.5. Had to be ridden hard like he was in a race to gallop out just to get close to him. He doesn't want to train. He needs a break. He's a tired horse, and no matter what happens with the sheets, no matter what the sheets say.
No, the sheets don't say anything. They're just showing you what he ran the last time.
I think he is.
Why is the horse tired already?
Well, because he's telling you. Chad knows what he's looking
at.
No,
that's why I'm asking, because you're looking at the 4 races. He's raced twice since November. So how does a horse get tired so quickly then?
Because the thing is, when you get ready for the Derby, and this is the thing, a common misconstruction that a lot of people don't understand about this industry. Okay, the Kentucky Derby is the toughest race in the world to win, or among them, because it only have one chance to do it. You're a 3-year-old once. It's the first Saturday of May once. You can win any kind of race when your horse is peaking and primed, and you can find a spot.
Horses in a race either.
This is a race where everything needs to go right at almost every time. And you're allowed. I told you this from the first time we did the show. You're allowed 1 mulligan. Well, Smile Happy's on his 9th life like a cat, and I don't think he's a cat. He needed to be a bear to beat him last time. He got beat by a bear in the bluegrass. Now he's got lions and tigers and bears, oh my. I just think he's surrounded in this race, and I do not like Smile Happy one little bit at all in this race.
Okay.
And again, I apologize if I'm being ignorant. I still didn't understand why he's tired.
He looks like a tired horse to him.
He is a horse who, just because he's only run the twice, doesn't mean that he hasn't been in hard training.
So it's basically that's the difference between looking at what, being able to follow the horse with your eyes as opposed to just looking over numbers on a board on a computer desk.
The horse gets very warm in the morning time. They've been relatively cool here. He shouldn't be breaking out in a sweat. That's normally a sign of stress, a sign of aggravation, a sign of something that's bothersome to the horse. And I just, to me, don't like this horse at all.
That makes sense, then. Sure.
And to me, similar to your bet on Mandaloon, unfortunately, you're not going to cash a ticket.
That's all. I know.
Messier.
Tell me about it. Next up. Oh, by the way, the 5 position, believe it or not, is the position with the most wins since the starting gate was introduced back in 1930.
This is a different starting gate.
And the last was Always Dreaming in 2017. Next up is Messier.
Spirit, what number was she? 5 or 6 last year? I think
7.
Oh, was she?
No, not 7. No, because Mandaloon was 7. He was 8.
He was the 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Messier's next. Question. If Messier was named My Uncle Charlie, would he be 8-1?
Was your Uncle Charlie? Would your Uncle Charlie run second?
I think there's a lot of people who like this horse because of his name. I'm telling you, and the Baffert connection, obviously.
Was your Uncle Charlie trained by Baffert?
Unfortunately, not.
Okay, well then he probably wouldn't be at 8-1.
Anyway, back-to-back 8s to start the season. Got the runner-up at the Santa Anita Derby. This is a West Coast horse, so I don't know.
Up in a 6-horse field, how many horses were in the Santa Anita Derby? 5 horses. 5 horses.
Yeah.
This is now a 20.
3 of them are in the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, 3 of them are in the Derby, and 2 of them were Baffert horses. So I don't know. Everyone's saying, well, if Tabor wasn't in that race, Messier would have won. Okay, great, but Tabor was in that race, and Messier didn't win.
Look, I think
I'm not a fan.
The thing with these horses from California is, in years past, other than Medina Spirit last year, Baffert would normally take them and not be afraid to ship them. His better horses actually normally went to Oaklawn. They followed that kind of path.
Yeah.
And this year, obviously, with a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that wasn't necessarily horse-related, but more politically related, most of the horses stayed home because nobody knew what was going on. And
what was the point to go if you weren't getting points anyway?
Correct. Correct. And look, Messier ran a huge race first time out. The horse he beat in there, Cabo Spirit, was 3rd in a stake at Golden Gate the other day. That tells you all you need to know about that. He came out of that race and needed time. They said it was because they wanted to give him time. There's been video circulating that there was a reason he needed time. He came back. He ran an okay second. We've watched him now train here. He doesn't look like a typical Bob Yaktine horse. And at the end of the day, it's one of those things where he's going to go. The way he's training right now, he will send this horse to the lead. His only shot to win is to go wire to wire.
He's not making the lead, though, is he? Do you think he's going to make the lead? With the Japanese,
he can make the lead
tomorrow.
He can make the lead.
He's gonna, yeah, okay.
John Velasquez, he made the lead with Medina Spirit last year. He made the lead with Authentic.
Okay,
that's that California Speed program, the King of Speed, right? I mean, might be some other pundits picks that love speed. Messier might be that horse. Look, at the end of the day, Messier is the 9th leading scorer in NHL history. If this horse was named Gretzky, maybe it should be 8-1.
No, maybe 7-1.
Messier had a 25-year career. This horse will not have a 25-year career, and I do not think he is a winner. Look, he's the kind of horse that somehow might find himself in the superfecta because he somehow manages to hold on for a piece after, because the one thing I will say is Bob Baffert prepares these horses for the Kentucky Derby from the day they ship into his barn. And you look at some of the stats of some of these other trainers, that Todd Pletcher was 2 for 59 and Asmussen was 0 for 23 and Chad Brown's 0 for 7. A lot of them don't end up anywhere. There's a second or a third or a win, but most horses are in the back of the field. Bob Baffert's horses, even when they lose, they run well. You look back at horses like Dortmund and horses that always seem to, Congaree, that always pick up a piece, whether or not they look like they're going to or not. I don't like Messier. But if you're playing a pick 5, what is it? Like a super high 5, a superfecta.
By the way, all you superfecta players, no 10-cent supers in the Derby this year.
All right, so if I'm playing a dollar super, I might not include Messier. But for 10 cents, I might have included Messier.
Okay.
All right, 2 stats working against Messier. Only 2 Canadian-bred horses have won the Derby. Do you know the last to do it? Canadian-bred?
No clue.
Sonny's Halo back in 1983. Then throw in the fact that only 2 Derby winners have ever won from post position 6. Let's move on to 7. Crown Pride. 20-1 shot. So Crown Pride, the Japanese bred horse, UAE Derby winner. What about this? This is your expertise once again, Chad.
Outside of
us, he ran 14.
What is? I thought they only got 13.
He got a 17.
17?
Yeah.
Oh, he got a 13 in the 7/8 race.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Back to business.
No shot.
Crown Pride.
Yeah, he ran a 17.
Okay. So Crown Pride has become the media darling because anytime the media sees something they haven't seen in a few years, because Lonnie did the same thing and everybody seems to forget about it, they're enamored by it. He warms up in the chute. The rider is pretty moving. He makes the horse look very, very smooth. He's got a great stride. He's very efficient. He worked 46 the other day for the 4th time he worked in 7 days. Look, I like the horse. I have to like the horse because the owner and breeder of the horse is the owner of Mind Your Biscuits.
Really?
Yeah. So it'll be very kind of nostalgic seeing those silks.
Yeah.
They haven't been seen at Churchill Downs since the 2018 Breeders' Cup where Biscuits finished 11th.
Oh, you didn't train him for that race?
Yeah, I trained them. I wore his silks.
Okay.
So,
and if Chad wasn't training him, the horse would have won.
No, he would have probably finished 12th. He finished 11th with Chad. Don't pick on my trainer there.
Crown Pride is the wild card in this race because nobody knows what he's going to do.
I do. He's not going to win.
But where is he going to sit?
I don't care where he sits. What's the difference? They pay at the finish line. They don't pay where you're sitting.
I think there's a chance that he's the first one to make the first move. He has enough stamina to keep going. He's a horse that might be interesting in the Belmont Stakes later on, but I don't think he wins this race.
Christophe Lemaire, another jockey that may not be too familiar with gamblers here in the U.S., but this is a very successful, what is he, a 5-time Japanese best jock? Is that what he is?
Yeah, I mean, he's been pretty remarkable. He took over for Yutaka Taki as the #1 jockey in Japan, and for a Frenchman, speaks as lovely a Japanese as you'll ever hear. He's a fluid conversationalist in Japanese, and they adore him there. They absolutely love him. They took to him. Mr. Yoshida's brother, actually, that runs Northern Farm, which is the biggest farm in Japan, rides him first call on everything. It will be the first time that he rides him, but he did breeze him on Wednesday and looked very, very smooth, or Wednesday. And they looked very, very smooth doing it in 46-2. So not without a chance, but I would like to take odds though, Jonathan.
What odds?
We have all these weird future wagers, all these wagers. I bet you that the Derby's won this year by a French jockey. So Christophe Lemire would be included in that conversation. Next.
Good.
All right, the 8 is Charge It at 20-1, and Charge It. I actually picked Charge It to win the Florida Derby, but when we talked about his performance in that race, Chad, we talked about how all over the place Charge It was, and how hard it was going to be coming into this race because Charge It needs the lead, and it was going to be tough. But he's got a pretty decent position, 8th post position. I know you've kind of warmed a little bit to Charge It over the recent weeks. Coming off that 2nd place finish in the Florida Derby to To Barrio, making only his 4th start. What about Charge It?
Well, I don't know. He's like other horses in the race to me. I think he's going to be a lot shorter than 20-1. A lot of wise guys are leaning towards this horse, but he's just another horse in the race to me. I wouldn't use him.
Yeah, Sheets, he's got a 13, an 8, and a 10 in his 3 races. So what have you seen from Charge It to make you feel? I think he's 4th on your poll, Chad?
Yeah, he moved up. He moved up a lot. The thing with Charge It is he trains great. He's got a lot of energy. He's a good moving, good looking, good feeling horse. But he has just the 3 starts, and 7 of the horses in this field, Jonathan, you can talk about this, have 4 starts or less. And so when you're looking at the Derby in the past, when you're looking at the sheets and the number that it takes to win, it's very tough. Look, and I know Taiba maybe is a freak or whatever, and we'll get to him in a minute. But at the end of the day, normally there was a pattern. They had some starts as a 2-year-old, had some starts as a 3-year-old, and then you knew if you were sitting on the big one at the Derby. Charge It, he's so young and so immature.
Obviously, he didn't run his top yet.
No.
But that being said, there's no guarantee he's going to run it on Saturday. The last race should have been better than a 10, but it was his first time around 2 turns. It was without Lasix. He did have some trouble in the race. I could see making a case for him. I really could. There's just something about him that I don't particularly like. To me, I just think there are faster horses that have better chances.
And the other interesting thing with Charge It is Charge It was broke on a track that was just a 5/8 track. So he doesn't have a lot of experience around these big, wide sweeping turns that Churchill Downs has. He trains in Florida for basically all his life because he started so late. At Palm Beach Downs, where that's not really a big wide track, at like Belmont, where if he trained in the past, it'd be a little bit different. This is going to be a big adjustment to him, and he's a horse, especially being by Tappet. And look, everyone says Tappet's the best stallion in the world, and his track record is bar none. He does a phenomenal job, and he seems to win the Belmont Stakes every year. But Tappets are not known for their minds, and to then incorporate 20 horses into the field with this horse is a big, big ask.
Yeah, he looked freaked. He looked like he was out of control in the last race. So
he was something new to him. He's never been that far before, and he was logging in, logging out, didn't change leads.
He's very green.
He was green.
They say Cyberknife is green, but really the greenest horse in the race is Charge It.
So could you imagine him in a 20-horse field for the first time?
Yeah.
So
by the way, Justify in 2018 was the first horse since Apollo in 1882 to win the Derby without a 2-year-old start. There are 4 horses in this field that did not make a 2-year-old start. Charge It is one of them. We talked about Happy Jack. The other 2 we'll be talking about soon, Taiba and Zozos. Okay.
The one last thing I'll say about Charge It, though, and it does bear saying, because just like in any other sport, there are people and in this situation, riders, who are, when the money's on the line, you want in your corner. Yeah. Luis Saez, time in and time out, and sometimes he's been disqualified or you haven't paid his purse, but Luis Saez is no doubt a big-time rider. I have no problem with Luis Saez on my horse on a race like the Kentucky Derby.
And it's a Pletcher horse, too. So
he's not the Phil Mickelson of horse racing.
The number 9 is one of the long shots, Tis the Bomb at 30-1, the win in the Jeff Ruby Stakes. What about Tis the Bomb, John?
He's a grass horse or a tapeta horse. He's not a dirt horse. His 3 dirt races are terrible.
Yep.
So the first 2, who cares? They were 2-year-old races, fine. But why the 18 this year? And then the jump up as soon as he got off of that. You can't like this horse.
Is there any chance, have you seen, and we've seen now so much, and I know you hate the tapeta, so this is a really bad conversation to have with you, but is there a chance that horses can go from the Tapeta and move forward? We've seen at Churchill so far.
Animal Kingdom was the only horse. I went back and I looked. It was the only horse to do it.
From the polytrack.
Right. Okay. But he was only running on polytrack before that. That's the only one that went from polytrack.
So he had never had any dirt experience.
Right. And the Derby was the first dirt experience.
Okay.
But he only ran on grass or polytrack. This horse shows you he's got dirt races that you can't. I mean, you know, I don't see him.
He's a good training. Listen, he's a good training horse. I can't knock him. Anything I've seen from this week in training, he's been better than Smile Happy. Your pick. So if you like Smile Happy, double down and bet Tiz the Bomb. But
no, I won't be doing that now.
At the end of the day, it's the kickback, and Tiz the Bomb. He makes this move around the turn, which is normally the kind of the winning move you need in the Derby. But he's going to have that dirt in his face. And that's the thing I think that he really just doesn't like. But he will forever be known as the first ever Breeders' Cup winner monetarily, without actually crossing the wire first. So he has that going for him from last year.
The favorite in the race is the 10 Zanden, the morning line favorite at least. Zanden, the winner of the Bluegrass Stakes. You take a look at his sheets. He has never gone backwards. 2 12s last year, an 8 and a 6 this year, John.
He's like Mo Donegal. He's like Epicenter. How do you know that? Well, you know, you don't know where the end is. Obviously, his last 2 races, both very good. His last race was extremely impressive when Flavien Prat got on him for the first time at Keeneland. I thought he was great. He came from last at the top of the stretch, which is not easy to do there and win. You know, he's fine. He's 3-1, though. Do you want to bet a 3-1 shot in this field? I don't think so. Chadwick?
Everybody loves Zanden. Zanden became the buzz horse very, very quickly. When he breezed at Keeneland, and then he surprised everybody that he breezed last Friday before the mythical rain. Look, Zanden moves nice. I'm not going to knock the horse.
By the way, he does have a problem coming out of the gate. And if he's off slowly or even gives up his step, he's going to have to pass 19 horses. It's not so easy to do with Pratt or without Pratt.
Look, my thing with Zanden, first of all, he schooled the other day and got very warm schooling, which I didn't like. He trained today and got very warm training, and it was 7:30 in the morning. It wasn't very warm. I didn't think he was going to make the Derby. When he beat us in the maiden race, which, by the way, if Joel Rosario didn't ride him in the maiden race, he doesn't win.
Right.
But
so you know, be here today,
he's very upright in his pass turns. I give Chad Brown credit because it took a very, very smart and strong campaign to get him there, and that's why you see the space in the races this year. And I think that was important. But now there's no space in the races.
No.
Now we're 4 weeks removed from his last race, and I think he needs a little bit more time. And I think he's showing us, despite the fact that by himself he's breezed so well, you know, I don't think he's going into this race as good as everybody else thinks he does. I think he can hit the board, but I do not think that he's the horse to beat. I think sometimes you get a little bit interesting when everybody becomes a workout master. Yeah. Everybody has a clock and a watch, and they type about it on social media and Twitter and Instagram and everything else. And Zanden at Keeneland, where nobody saw him breeze, except for I think Alicia Wintz was there and started messaging about it at Keeneland. And then he came here and he surprised everybody, so nobody was really watching him break off, and he looked great. Well, you know what? He was by himself.
Right.
He wasn't in company. Chad Brown always works his horse in company. The only horse I remember him not working in company was Connect. And so for him not to work that horse in company, I find very, very interesting. And again, like you said, when a horse has trouble breaking out of the gate, we have not seen him go back and blow the horse up out of the gate. You see no gate works. You see no pop up out of the gate.
What is he?
He's a turf trainer. And he sits there and he gets very upset about it. And he says, I can train anything. I can train dirt horses. I won the Preakness. Well, he won a really bad Preakness with cloud computing. But he's a Triple Crown winning trainer. That's fine. Okay. At the end of the day, he is a turf trainer. And it doesn't matter how you break in the turf, it's how you finish. Right. Well, in the Kentucky Derby, it matters how you break. Good Magic broke well and ran second for Chad Brown.
Right.
Zanden's not going to break as good. No. Now, Flavien Prat is quickly becoming one of the top riders in the country, if he's not there already. If he wins this race, Flavien Prat becomes the best rider in the country, because that's how this horse is going to win.
He got put up a few years ago with Country House, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not his first Derby win.
All right. Again, Zanden, winner of the Bluegrass. 10 winners have won both races, the Bluegrass and the Derby, in the same year. The last to do it, though, Strike the Gold back in 1991.
Hey, Nick Zito will be happy.
All right, let's now move on to number 11, Pioneer Medina. And this is one of my favorite long shots. Well, not one of. This is my favorite long shot. 30-1, Pioneer Medina. You look at the sheets, and over the last, really, if you take a look at the 5 races on dirt, Pioneer Medina has improved each time out. 22, 16, 14, 9, and 8. Finished 3rd in the Louisiana Derby. This is a Pletcher horse. So at 30-1, maybe this horse goes up higher than that. I don't know. Maybe with Pletcher he won't. I'm going to try to see if I can get this horse in my exactas, John.
Well, the problem I have with him is that he has no foundation as a 2-year-old. He just got good the last 3 races, which is probably a good thing. You want to get good now. I mean, the 8 off the 9 is good, you know. The 9 wasn't just a 5-point top and then he blew up. He took time off and ran the 8. He's not bad, but I'm not a Joe Bravo fan. And if Pletcher's putting Bravo on him and couldn't find anyone else, I don't know.
By the way, are you guys surprised no Castellano?
Where is Castellano?
Castellano's in Belmont. He didn't want to come ride the horse.
Okay.
So I think that tells you a lot. He thought he'd rather ride the card at Belmont on Saturday than come down here and ride the horse. At the end of the day, no, I'm serious.
Yeah, okay. He doesn't want to race in the Kentucky Derby?
It's a business thing.
We can call him right now if you want.
I would love that. Get him on the air.
If they have 5 stakes at Belmont and he's riding the favorite in 3 of them, why would he want to come here? He's ridden in derbies before. He's coming to ride a 50-1 shot. I don't know. From a business point of view,
look,
maybe he did the right thing. Maybe
here's the
not.
thing. I think it's too late for us to start our own sportsbook, John, but I'd love to take all of Greg's bets so far. Pioneer of Medina is to me, he's a dressed-up horse. He's run some good numbers while trailing others. He hasn't been close to winning any of those races. And I know, Jonathan, he's run good races. I get it. But at any time when you watch his replays, take the sheet away, Greg. If you just go back and you watch his replays, other than the allowance,
I don't watch the replays. I just take a look at the sheets.
I understand. I've seen your bets. So when you watch the replays, though, Jonathan, and you see his last 2 races, despite how fast he ran on the sheets, was he ever going to beat Epicenter?
No, not in 1,000 years.
Okay, so what now is going to change? He takes the blinkers off. You can't have anything go wrong. These 2 weeks, especially, you can't have anything go wrong. He missed the work. He came back, didn't know if he was even going to make the race. He makes the race briefly, then he's back out of the race, then he's back in the race. He breezed on a Monday, which is very atypical of Todd, and then came back because he needed a workmate. He came back so that he can work in company with Todd's other horse, so that he would keep him busy. So he came back on 5 days rest to breeze again on Saturday with Charge It. I don't think that Pioneer Medina is Todd's best chance, and I don't think he is anybody's best chance.
That's why he's 30-1.
Well, he should be 300-1. I don't like this horse at all. I've been against this horse the whole time. I know his numbers are his numbers. He's never been in our top 10. If there was a top 15 poll, he wouldn't be in my top 15 poll for this race either.
How do you really feel, Chet?
I don't like him.
Next up is Taiba. 12-1 shot. 2 races. That's it for Taiba. And coming off the win in the Santa Anita Derby. Starts with a 7. Follows it up with a 6. Quick question.
If I was buying stock in any of these 3-year-olds, I would buy stock in this horse because by the end of the year, he may turn out to be one of the better ones.
And I would sell him short because I think after this race, he might be retired.
Okay, that's even better. That could be too. I don't think he's running one step. I wouldn't have him on any tickets on Saturday. It's just too much to ask a horse in career start number 3 to stretch out to 1.25 miles, to run in a 20-horse field after you're running in these small California fields. To do all that in a 2-month period of time, it's just not happening. It is not happening. There is no price I would take on this horse. People are looking to bet him all over the place. I don't give him any chance. I really don't.
Chad, out of the 2 Yakteen horses, who do you like better, Messier or Taiba?
Doppelganger. In the Pate Mile. Look, I guess I would have to prefer Messier because I really don't like what's going on with Taiba. Taiba missed the work. They said on purpose, whatever. I don't buy it. He's had some issues along the way. He had a knee surgery as a 2-year-old before he ever ran.
By the way, the Santa Anita Derby that he won, he had a perfect setup.
Well, can you explain this to me though? These numbers, the 7 and the 6. Neither of them have been Flightline-like performances.
No,
What
no.
makes them so sensational that he gets these 7 and 6 numbers?
I don't question
the
it.
final time. The final
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
So
I
he's a
guess.
fast horse in California.
Yeah.
He's never traveled. He's never done
No.
anything. And you know the whole thing here?
What?
Bob Baffert, when he went to suspension for 90 days, lays out a plan for Tim Yakteen. Tim Yakteen worked for him for 15
Right.
years. He said, do this, do this, do this. Never in any of Bob Baffert's 6/7 Kentucky Derby wins did he work a horse on Wednesday 3/8. That's Tim Yakteen being Tim Yakteen because he did it before the San Antonio Derby. He said to go 36, Joel went 38. I don't like that idea. I don't like that strategy. And I think Tim Yakteen is trying to say, this is my horse, this is my Kentucky Derby, and he's going to bike back to California because I don't think he's going to win.
Okay, I'm with you.
All right.
Simplification is next.
Santa Anita Derby, 11 winners have won both races, including California Chrome in 2014 and Justify in 2018. Next, as John said, is Simplification, a 20-1 shot, third in the Florida Derby. And Simplification, trained by Antonio Sano, who, and look, if you're just a normal sports fan, you've never really, maybe you watch the Derby, that's about it. You probably, maybe you'll find out that Sano was kidnapped twice, including once for 36 days, bolted Venezuela as their all-time winningest trainer.
Okay. All right.
Guys, Simplification, 20-1.
No.
Highway robbery.
No, the 8 he ran is done. 8, time off 10, time off 11. He's going in the wrong direction. He's only 20-1. You got much better 20-1 shots coming up.
The one thing I'll say about Simplification is I don't think the move last time, the strategy last time, was how he's going to ride in this race.
No.
He went to the lead. I don't know why he went to the lead. Jose Ortiz, I think, will have a different plan in mind. He's not fast enough to make this lead, and so he's gonna sit a better trip this time, despite being like 12th this time. He's gonna sit a better trip, and I think he's a horse that can pick up a piece. I think Gunnevera ran 3rd or 4th in this race, and Simplification can run 3rd or 4th in this race. Can he win? I don't think so, but he can actually pick up a piece. Well, he's a happy horse. Now, if it rains, throw this horse off every one of your tickets because we watched him train on Tuesday in the mud, and he hopped over every puddle like he'd never seen rain before.
And he's from Florida.
He's from Florida. It rains there all the time,
Yeah.
and Sano trains in the rain. I don't know what it was, but he was literally leapfrogging every puddle.
All right.
He looked like a kid at school that was trying to get his clothes dirty.
The 14 is Barber Road, another long shot at 30-1. Barber Road finished second to Cyberknife in the Arkansas Derby, John.
Yeah, he passed a bunch of horses that were finished and had the heart broken by Cyberknife. However, he doesn't have a single digit. Obviously, you're going to need a single digit. I don't like this horse at all.
The last Derby winner from the 14th position was Carrie Back in 1961. Whoa. Next up,
the one thing. Listen, the one thing with Barber Road, Channing Hill, a good friend of mine, former jockey, rode for a long time. He's very close with John Ortiz, and John won a few races. He won the stake actually yesterday. He's doing well. He says the horse is training well, for whatever that's worth.
I'm sure he is training well. Shout out to Channing Hill and Ortiz. Congratulations to both of them. That being said,
look, I don't like how this horse has been trained into the race. I think this is the normal. My first horse in the Kentucky Derby. If we see John Ortiz on the Derby trail again in the future, I think we'll see different strategy used on him.
All right. White Barrio, the 15 horse is 10-1, and this horse not only won the Holy Bull, came back and won the Florida Derby, ran 8s in both races. And what about White Barrio, John? Because that's it's pretty impressive to win both of those races. What'd you think about the 8 last time out at the Florida Derby? After the 8 at the Holy Bull.
It's fine. I mean, you would have liked to see another forward move. He had plenty of time off for the first 8, but he paired up. He's okay. He's 10-1. He'll probably be maybe short. You think he'll go off shorter than 10-1? They got too many horses to
No, he won't be shorter than 10-1. Spendthrift Farm actually bred this horse, and they said they're kind of rooting for the horse, but at the same time, if he wins, they have to answer all the questions why they sold him for $7,500 as a yearly.
That's what they sold him for?
Yeah. So, look.
How would you like to be the first trainer that had a... Who was CLP?
Carlos Perez.
Oh, Carlos Perez.
And they sold him for $400,000
off
of
the
first
15?
race, off the 15. And I thought they were crazy, and they weren't. I mean, the horse he's a nice horse. His worst race did come at Churchill Downs as a 2-year-old.
But that was off a 12, so he figured to bounce that day.
Well, so now he's off an 8. So what does he do now? He bounces again. He's the last horse here. I wish he would have got to work over the track. Nice horse.
Why didn't he work him over the track?
Because Safi Joseph doesn't want to leave Florida.
Another guy that does what
the bun doesn't do well outside of Florida. You got to keep the bun in Florida.
He's got that man bun on.
All right, here we go. The one and only Cyberknife. Right now, 20-1 morning line odds. Anybody that's been watching our show on a weekly basis, you know what it's all about. So, what have you seen lately from Cyberknife, Chad? Because I don't think there's anything else for us to say. We will talk about it, but what about Cyberknife's workouts?
I mean, couldn't be coming into the race any better than he is. His last two workouts have been kind of speechless. You know, Brad Cox isn't a man that likes to use a lot of words, but he uses even less when Cyberknife works. And everyone sits there and they try and poo-poo him by saying he's always a good workhorse. I don't know why that's a punishment.
Yeah,
when
what is wrong with
when you're always a good workhorse?
Would you rather be a bad workhorse? It doesn't make any sense.
It didn't make any sense to me. And so then he always works good. Well, you know what? He's run 6 times and he's been first or second in 5 of
in the
them.
6 races.
So you know why he's 20-1 makes no sense to me. I don't understand any of it. Brad Cox was in the Derby for the first time last year and was paid to finish first and third. I don't see what anybody's looking at here, why they don't like the horse. And if they think he's green and they think he's immature, tune in on Saturday and find out.
I have a novice opinion on that. I remember when you talked highly of Cyberknife very early on when we were talking initially, and he goes out and he runs the very disappointing 15, finishing 6th in the Lecomte. That was his worst race. So he comes right back out there and quickly wants to race again to kind of get the stink off. And he runs the 8, which was awesome. But then, even though he won the Arkansas Derby, you know how people think about the Arkansas Derby. They don't think about it like some of the other prep races, and he runs at 11, goes backwards, even though he should have gone backwards because, you know, he bounced a little bit. But I think that, because we talk about this all the time, that's why last week I was surprised that Scuttlebuzz was 15-1, but he hadn't run in any big races. And when you take a look at the daily racing form, it's easy to see why nobody likes this horse as much as, say, we do. So I think that's part of the reason. I think that this is just a horse that just doesn't look good on standard daily racing form paper.
Greg, first of all, you've been giving stats about every cockamamie race and post position since we started this show. There's been more winners of the Arkansas Derby of late than anywhere else. It's the most expensive race of all the prep races. It's $1.25 million, and it's a grade 1. Why are you going to run the Louisiana Derby in a grade 2 or the Wood Memorial in a grade 2 when you can go to Arkansas and run in a grade 1 for $1.25 million?
There have only been 3 winners there that have won both the Derby and the Arkansas Derby. Ever.
Okay. Who are the 3?
Well, the last to do it was Pharaoh in 15.
The greatest horse of the last
American
10 years.
Pharaoh.
American Pharaoh, who went on to win the Triple Crown. You're right. It's a cockamamie race.
Right.
It's a bad race. It's a bad race.
I'm just look. I'm not telling you why. I'm telling you why I think they're wrong.
Oh, okay.
Listen.
What do they
Didn't
know?
you even hear me what I was saying? I said I'm going to try to tell you why I think people don't like Cyberknife. It has nothing to do with what I think.
The Beyer speed figures have made no sense for the last 15 years. I'll go on every record and
there
say
you
this
go.
one, blue and Andy Beyer should have retired 10 years before Mike Pythagorean making the morning line. That was absolutely terrible. I don't understand. His Beyers make no sense at all anytime. Okay? That horse, by the way, was 2/5 off the track record when he ran in the allowance race, and he got what was his Beyer in the allowance race?
He ran the same day
as Olympia.
No, also
Olympia.
as Epicenter.
As Epicenter. He was faster than Epicenter.
Yeah, he ran faster than Epicenter when Epicenter won that race, by the way.
The Risen Star.
The Risen Star.
Which means he was faster than Smile Happy, and he was faster than Zenden.
They ran an 8 1/4. He ran an 8.
But what was his Beyer speed figure in the allowance
I don't look
race?
at Beyers, just a sheets.
But that's budget to. All right, let's move on.
Why would I look at the Beyers anyway? Like you said, it's garbage.
Exactly. But he's telling you, he's making his case why they're useless, and they are.
Yeah.
Classic Causeway's up next.
All right, Classic Causeway, the 30-1 shot, ran a 22 last time out in the terrible Florida Derby race.
Well, this horse needs a lead to win, I guess. He's not getting the lead. Or if this is the quickest horse out of the gate.
He's the quickest horse out of the gate. He's one of the coolest things in the world. If you watch the head-on of his races, is how he breaks out of the gate. Now he ends up kind of running slowly. That's why his numbers were never really awe-inspiring in Tampa with the 13 and the 11.
He had easy trips.
But
really
no, he made the lead and slowed it down. And I rode him great over there.
Yeah.
But if you go and just watch him break out of the gate. If you go back and do your homework and you just watch him break out of the gate, it's really, really cool. I think he was 8-1 in the debut after breezing, I think 110 and change with Mike Luzzy before he ever ran in his first start. They printed money that day. This wasn't their original plan. They were going to go to the Pate Mile. The owners are a combined age of 160, and they wanted to take a shot.
Why not?
So take a shot. Listen, I love the fact that Julien Leparoux's on this horse.
He's good on a speed horse.
I think
I don't like him as a rider much, but on a speed horse, he's good.
He'll take care. Listen, and if Classic Causeway is backing up, he'll take care of him.
Okay, well that's what you want.
So that's where we're at, and hopefully he backs up away from the 16 and into somebody else.
Tony Port, another Brad Cox horse in the race.
By the way, no Derby winner has ever won the race from the 17 post position.
Which makes no sense. Isn't that the weirdest stat of all time?
0 for 42. All right.
But no horse has won the Derby with a knob, and he's got a knob.
Tony Port, 30-1. At least the last 4 sheet numbers are respectable. 3 12s and a 10. Has 2 12s on dirt.
Yeah, I don't like him.
Chad?
He's a cool horse. He's a fun moving horse. He's fun to be around. If it was one, what was that thing?
If you're taking him to dinner, you could bet him, but we're not taking him.
No. But what was the thing in the Miss America pageant where you get Miss Congeniality or whatever? Tony Port, I think, would be Mr. Congeniality in this year's Kentucky Derby. He's not my pick, but he's Mr. Congeniality.
All right, the 19, another horse I'll put in my exactas at 20-1. Zozos, Brad Cox trained horse. Manuel Franco, a very solid jockey. May not have the name appeal, but some of the others for the novice sports fans out there that watch this race once a year. But this horse has done nothing wrong in 3 starts, 14, 12, and 8 after finishing second to Epicenter in the Louisiana Derby. So what about Zozos, John?
Nothing. He hasn't done anything wrong, but he's light on experience. He's similar to other lightly raced horses in the race that are fast. That being said, I don't know. I'm not a big fan because he's worked with Cyberknife together, and Cyberknife has beaten him for the most part in the works.
Well, they're just at one time here. They were even before his debut race. But look, Zozos, to me, I don't think he wants to go this far. And the thing with the sheets, and I understand, look, Fairgrounds was 6 weeks, and Brad Cox was very smart, I think, in taking this horse to Fairgrounds and giving him that extra week break in between. I still think, even though it's 6 weeks, that 14, 12, 8, the 3 runs in basically 3 months,
too much.
He is a bounce candidate to me. And even though it is the 6 weeks, I don't know that it's enough time to me.
Okay.
I think he can take a step back.
The 20 is Ethereal Road, the horse that very fortunate to get bumped into the race. D. Wayne Lucas, the man, for Derby.
Good boy.
Trained.
Good man.
What's that?
Your favorite trainer. That's your favorite trainer of all time.
And why not? Because I made money off of both the 1999 Charismatic Derby at 30-1 and the 95 Thunder Gulch one. So when you win money, big money.
Greg, hi, it's the 21st century. Have you seen me? Greg.
Did I say I was betting the horse?
95, 99, or 2022. The horse is a tired horse. Greg, he ran the crap out of the horse to get him to this race.
Good news,
no
Greg.
shot.
Lucas was your favorite trainer. After Saturday, Brad Cox will be your favorite trainer.
I certainly hope so. Okay.
And that's that.
And then we got one more horse just in case there is a late withdrawal, and that is Rich Strike. Anything at Rich Strike that you think might be interesting, Chad?
Yeah, if you're betting who might finish last in the race, Rich Strike would have a good chance.
Very good. I'm glad you wanted me to talk about him. All right.
I just wanted you to talk because I think there's going to be a scratch in the race. Nobody's going to talk about Rich Strike in any of their previews.
Right.
I don't even know how he qualified for the race. I'm trying to figure out how he qualified for the race.
Where did he get points?
I don't know. He's like dropped out of the sky. He was third in the Jeff Ruby Stakes.
Ah.
I don't know how he got in over some of these other horses, but he's in or could be in. So there you have it. Sonny Leon, by the way, a lot of people don't know. Up-and-coming Venezuelan jockey. Big fan from the local Venezuelan contingent for all of them watching at home.
Is he related to Filberto Leon?
He is not.
Okay.
Okay, so when I ask you for your Kentucky Derby trifecta, then I'm assuming that this means that your first horse is your favorite, your second horse is your second favorite, and your third horse is your third favorite, correct?
Who are you talking to?
Both of you.
My top
Because
pick
I
is
know
gonna
who
be
your first favorites are going to be. So that's
Oh.
why I'm saying the second favorite is
Okay,
your second favorite,
I'll
correct?
I'm putting in Epicenter, Smile Happy, and Zandon underneath. Very original. 16 over the 3, 5, and 10.
And who is your second favorite horse out of the 3, 5, 10?
Well, I liked the 5 till I listened to Chad, so I can't like the 5 anymore. But I liked him because he was 20-1. But I respect Chad's opinion, and if he's telling me he's a tired horse, he's a tired horse. I don't know. I guess Zandon, but yeah, I can't pick a 3-1 check. That's ridiculous. So
Chad,
I'm going to go
after Cyberknife. Who else?
I'm gonna have to go with Charge It from the Todd Pletcher contingent, and I think for third, this is gonna be a very, very tough one for me. But I'm gonna take. I think I'm gonna take. I don't know, Simplification for third. Or I think that's my trifecta.
Okay, there you go. Kentucky Derby picks are in. Now we're gonna go to the Kentucky Oaks,
which is run on Friday, the day before the Derby.
Yes, this is going to go off at 5:51, approximately Eastern time on Friday.
It'd be an Oaks clip and a Derby clip. I don't think we need both together.
Yeah, because you got to watch the whole Derby to get to the Oaks.
Yeah, I think there should be an Oaks. I think we should clip this into.
You don't think I can edit this show myself?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that
why did we do the Derby before the Oaks?
But just as a stand.
I'm just asking though. But why, out of curiosity, why did we decide to do it this way?
Because I'm going to be doing 3 posts. I'm going to post this show together. Then I'm going to do a Kentucky Derby one by itself and a Kentucky Oaks by itself.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah,
it kills the views. Okay,
and they could choose whichever.
The views.
14 horse field with 3 undefeated fillies. So this is a really competitive Oaks, just like the Derby. Secret Oath is the 6-1 shot. Now this is the horse that decided to race with the boys at the Arkansas Derby, and things didn't go well.
Yeah, Cyberknife kicked her ass, so that was good. But she could run an 11, but I don't think an 11's going to win. Off of the sheet, she ran 13, 11, 13. You know, she could run the 11, but 11's not going to. Not only that, she's going to be an underlay because it's Lucas, and everyone thinks the filly's so great. She ran against the boys. She's going to get overbet for that reason, and I will not have her on a ticket.
Secret Oath to me is the perfect reason for why you need to buy the sheets. So, if you watch Twitter, if you watch the races, everybody anointed her as the queen of the 3-year-old division. And the sheets never bought into it.
No, well, and not the Ragozin Sheets. Other sheets, fake sheets, had her as the fastest horse, and they were.
But she's not.
No.
And I think we're gonna find out here that she's not. She was not showing much early in the week. She's picked up her gallops the last couple of days. She trains early in the morning under the lights at 5:15. She's one of the first Oaks Derby horses on the track. But at the end of the day, I agree with you, Jonathan. I just don't think she's fast enough.
Yeah.
The 2 Nostalgic is slow. The last 2 races were 15s.
Yeah, she's making a forward move. The only problem is it's not going to be a good enough forward move, so she's out.
She's a horse to me that I think can definitely hit the try. She's coming in under the radar. That race in the Gazelle last time was a sneaky good race. Everyone was disappointed that Vente Valentine wasn't able to get the job done as the big favorite. But Nostalgic ran on and ran forward. And look, the numbers, not the adjusted buyer numbers, but the numbers in the wintertime at Aqueduct have been slow because the track's been so slow. It's been such a tough track to get a read on. But I think I love how she's been training since I've seen her here at Churchill. Bill Mott does a great job. Love Medallion d'Oro mares. Nostalgic at a big price is putting things together at the right time. Not sure if she's good enough to win, but I can definitely see her, picking up a big piece at a big price.
All right, now.
And I don't think she's a lot of late money.
Now the 3 Hidden Connection at 20-1 starts her career with a 9, which is awesome. Goes a little backwards for a couple of starts, but then if you take a look at it, the last 3 starts all forward. Ran an 8 last time out and barely lost to the undefeated. What is it, Echo Zolo? And that was a head bob loss. So why? Why wouldn't we want this horse in our exotics?
I love this horse. This is my top pick in the race. I like the 9 that she ran as a 2-year-old first out. I like the fact she came out as a 3-year-old, broke through that number, and now has time off. It's what we call a condition line for old-time sheet players. They know what I'm talking about. And this horse is ready to run a new top. That just shows you how the morning line maker, I don't know what he's thinking about, but Echo Zulu beat this horse by a lip, and he lays this horse at 20-1 and Echo Zulu at 4-1.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. This is my top pick in the race, if you care. Chadwick?
Look, she's been inconsistent. She's shown the capability, like Jonathan said. She's run some very, very brilliantly fast races, and she's been right there. The consistency has been what's lacking for me. She's not the biggest filly in the world, and that's my concern in these races. Look, it's not 20, but it is a full 14-horse field, and she's going to have to work out a good trip with the young jockey Raylu Gutierrez. Now he's got a college degree and gym teacher, and that's great. But at the end of the day, I think he's going to have the ride of his life to win this race. Now he's winning everything. He's an up and coming jockey, but he's going. Is the moment going to be too big? We're going to find out, because this is his Super Bowl.
If she was 5 or 6-1, I would want no part of her. But if she's really going to be double digits,
she's got to take some money though. I can't see her being 20-1.
Players are going to play her for sure.
The 4 is one of the favorites. Nest at 5-2, a Pletcher Irad Ortiz combo. Do we see a bounce here, John, coming off a 7 last month? And that was an all-time high of what? 5, actually, off the 12.
Yeah, I'm playing her to bounce, especially due to the fact that she's the morning line favorite. If she drifts up and goes 5-6-1, or if I'm keying only the 3, I would include this horse somewhere, but I don't expect her to run well. I know she's coming off of a big win last time out. She's 4 for 5 lifetime, but tomorrow is the day to play against her if you're looking at sheets.
This is my only problem with the sheets, and this happens a little bit, and it happened with Biscuits a little bit, where she won so easily that sheet guys say she's due to bounce, but there's a difference between winning and winning under a drive and winning under double wraps. Yeah. And she won under complete double wraps. She could not have a better prep race than she had. Okay. What was behind her, I don't necessarily know. There were some disappointing stories. You talk about stats, Todd Pletcher, I think 4-time winner of this race. He certainly knows how to win the Kentucky Oaks. And Irad Ortiz aboard Malathot last year. I think Ness can continue to move forward. We're going to disagree on this one because she's trained really well. Irad Ortiz is very, very confident in her. And unless your son is knocking on Irad's door at 2 o'clock in the morning tomorrow across the hall from him, I think there's a chance that Ness can win the race.
All
right. Next up is the 5 at 15-1 shot. Goddess of Fire, Velazquez and Pletcher. This horse has improved the last 4 races. And this year, 13, 12, and 10. And those last 3 races were all second-place finishes. What about Goddess of Fire, John?
She's 15-1, so she's okay. She can repeat the 10. The problem I have with this horse is there's no foundation as a 2-year-old. The races as a 2-year-old were all terrible. She came out this year as a 3-year-old, obviously much better than she was, and she's 15-1. So for that reason, I would consider throwing her in.
Goddess of Fire to me is the Pioneer Medina of the Oaks. She's another top Pletcher horse that runs fast numbers that's never going to win a race. She's a half sister to Mind Control, and I think she's more valuable as a broodmare than she is in the Kentucky Oaks. I do not like her.
Okay.
The 6, You Girl, a 30-1 shot, appears to be pretty slow.
Ugiri, not You Girl.
Oh.
That's okay.
2 eyes.
I'm correct on English. That's not good. Hello. You're in trouble. Ugiri is the horse.
Owned by Japanese connections.
Yeah.
Anyway, this horse is too slow anyway, correct?
Yeah.
No. Why is she too slow?
Well,
she's got a 12 last time.
She's got a 12
last time. That's not that far behind.
She has a 13 as a 2-year-old. This horse is okay. Friedman actually, I think, liked this horse a little.
She's a horse who I think that she can make the lead. I don't think there's a lot of speed in this race, other than Echo Zulu. Look, Echo Zulu is obviously the wild card in the race. But I mean, if Uguri's sent from there, there's a chance that Yuguri can make the lead and take him as far as she can. Okay. I don't like the fact that following the race, trainer Rudolph Brissett sat there and said, I do not think she can go this far, but the owners want to run. So there's that in the back of your mind. But I do think she'll be part of that early pace presence and will be involved as late as she can.
All right, the 7, Echo Zulu, the 4-1 shot. You got Rosario on board, 4 11s and a 9. This horse has not lost the lead since September of 2021.
5 for 5 lifetime. So keep that in mind. You know, she only held on last time by a nose over Hidden Connection. However, it was her first race as a 3-year-old. Maybe they would, you know, I'm sure the screws weren't tightened as tight as they're going to be, and she'll probably move forward off the 11 tomorrow. 50?
You want to comment off the Echo Zulu?
Steve Asmussen took Midnight Bourbon to the Dubai World Cup. It was a $12 million race. He had some other horses on the card. Jockey Joel Rosario, trainer Steve Asmussen, elected to skip all that money, all that opportunity to stay here. And while Epicenter was the cherry on top of the cake, the entire cake is this filly, Echo Zulu. Steve Asmussen loves this filly. He's always been very, very closely connected with fillies, obviously famously going back to Rachel Alexander and Untappable and some of these other horses that he's really seemed to get to the bottom of. He loves this filly. She wasn't ready to run last time. It took a remarkable performance for her to win going that far off that layoff with that few amount of workouts. And she's not going to wow you with her look. She's not this, you know, strong, strapping, brilliant horse, but she's the first Grade 1 winner out of Gunrunner. It means a lot. It's owned by Winchell Thoroughbreds, who obviously own Gunrunner, who own Tappet, who have been with Steve Asmussen for a long, long time and part of many of his wins. He is 0 for his last 72, I think, with starters in Kentucky, which is a crazy stat.
Wow.
But this could be the one that kind of breaks through that glass. I think that Echo Zulu is the nuts. I think it's a joke that she's the third choice. It's disrespectful. It's disrespectful that she is not the morning line favorite. She better be the post time favorite. And if she's not, I will hammer her to death because she deserves to be the favorite. She has done nothing wrong. She's on her home track. If this race was a mile and a quarter, maybe I'd have a few more questions. But at the mile and 1/8 distance, I think she can do it. And Joel Rosario is smart enough that if Uguri does try and blitz away from there, I do think that he can rate and sit second, even though she's been in front of all her starts. She's a wonderful, wonderful filly, and I do think that she'll be crowned Kentucky Oaks champion.
Venti Valentine, 20-1 shot. Gaffleone, that's the 8 horse. The horse has improved over 5 races, but very slightly to a couple of 14s this year.
Yeah, it's a New York bred filly from Georgia Abreu. Horse hasn't done anything wrong, but I think she's slow compared to other horses.
She's trained very well since coming over here to Churchill. I like what I've seen from her. I had my doubts if she was going to be ready for a task like this, but she's a horse that's on the – I think she can pick up a piece. I don't know that she can win it, but I do think she can pick up a piece, and Fluffy the Wonder Dog will be watching and rooting hard for Venti Valentine.
Desert Dawn, the 9 horse, 20-1 shot. Coming off a win in the Grade 2 Santa Anita Oaks. That was a 10, best race of her career. So the previous best was a 14, the race that she ran in March. So is this another bounce candidate? But the difference here, though, is we have a 20-1 shot.
Yeah, well, she won a 5-horse field at Santa Anita last time out, and she was all out to do it, but she was a big price.
She beat a nice horse that day.
She did beat a nice horse that day, but that being said, I think she's going to react off the 10 she ran last time.
She might be the first Arizona bred in the race, let alone to win the race. I don't know that I've ever seen another Arizona bred in the Kentucky Oaks.
He had no stats for you.
I don't know if Greg has the stats on that, but look, she was good last time. I give her credit. I used to work with Phil D'Amato a long time ago. Actually, we're in the winner's circle together back in the 2000s with Battle One winning the Churchill Downs handicap, working for Chuck Simon. I'm rooting for Phil D'Amato, hoping he can get a classic to his name. But this one's it's a big ask, I think.
Yeah.
The 10 is Kathleen O, a 7-2 shot, and she's coming off a 7, her best race of her career in that Grade 2 race at Gulfstream Park. I guess the big difference here is you've got Kathleen O, who wants to close, and you have Echo Zulu, who's going to be in the lead. So if you want Kathleen O to win, what do you want as far as the pace for? Do you want some other horse to kind of push Echo Zulu there?
Well, that's going to certainly help Kathleen O if they decide to do that. You know, I mean, the horse ran a 7 last time out, which was a 4-point new top. Again, like Chad says, who knows if that's really a top? She's 4 for 4, and she won so easily last time. You know, but at 7-2, I don't know. She's another horse in the race. I like Echo Zulu better than Kathleen O if I had to choose between both of those.
She's not a pretty workhorse. I'll tell you that. You know, everybody watches these last couple of works. She got outworked badly in her last work. And Shug said that was the best she ever worked. And I found out that he wasn't lying. He was telling the truth. That was the best she ever worked. If you go back and look at her career workout pattern, she doesn't really break 49, 102. She's the difference between, you know, you have those all-stars in the morning time, you're right?
Morning glories.
Morning glories. She's an afternoon glory. She does nothing in the morning time whatsoever, but she showed up every time in the afternoon. And for that reason, you do have to include her in your tickets until she does anything wrong. If you're playing multi-race tickets,
you would always rather be an afternoon glory than a morning glory.
Correct.
So
I think you do have to use her, but I'm not gonna. I think there are other horses that are better than her. But certainly she's done nothing wrong in her career.
The 11 and the 12 are both 30-1 and both appear slow, especially the 12, forget it. But the 11 ran a 13 last time out.
The 11's going to run a new top tomorrow. This is what you call a quarter-point move. She ran a 13.25 first out, and she broke through it in her last race. She's set to run a new top. That being said, if she runs a 10 or an 11, it's probably not going to be good enough. But she is making a forward move, maybe somewhere in the bottom of your tries and supers.
I agree with everything he said.
All right, and then the 13.
13 is Chad's horse from Japan. He's been talking about
Dubai.
Oh, Dubai, excuse me.
Owned by Bahrainians.
Yeah, owned by Bahrainians.
Jahama, Pratt and Pletcher, 15-1.
Pratt, did you arrange this?
No, listen. Well, you talk about trying to ride this horse. So Andre de Vries has been aboard this horse for every one of her starts. He weighs, I think he weighs 130 pounds. He says he doesn't, but he really wanted to ride.
He'd only be 9 pounds over.
He really wanted to ride this filly, and was crushed that they went with Flavien Prat. But I like the move to Flavien Prat. Look, But you're getting the moneys to go a mile and an eighth. Wow. It's a half sister to Looking Unlucky too.
Oh.
So trying to make up for her brother falling just a little short in the Kentucky Derby several years ago.
Right.
She was an expensive 2-year-old in training purchase. She went over there and she just continued to get better and better. And I understand the field she beat over there were nothing to really be impressed with. The filly that was second in the UAE Oaks, Arabian Gazelles, came back and didn't do anything in the UAE Derby. Not that she was supposed to against the boys. Shahama is a different breed. And the thing about Shahama is, besides her big white face, which is a remarkable face, that she's easy to spot and stuff like that, she's just a lovely filly to be around. She does everything the right way, and she's really, really impressed people in the morning time. She's worked her last 2 works with the other filly in the race for Todd Pletcher, Goddess of Fire, and she's been much the best both times. So if you like Goddess of Fire, you have to like Shahama, because she will finish ahead of Goddess of Fire. I know there's some wise guys out there that like Goddess of Fire more, but I'm a Shahama guy. I'll play Shahama on all my tickets.
Wow.
I think Echo Zulu, to me, she'll be my top selection, but I do have to use Shahama on all of my tickets, and it would not surprise me at all if she's able to get the job done. And the guy who won't get mentioned here, Fozzie Nas, who's the trainer who picked her out and is part of the ownership group of Victorious Racing. I hopefully he'll be here. He's a wonderful guy from Bahrain.
Is this horse going back to Dubai after this race, or staying with Pletcher?
It'll all be to be determined. I was trying to get her to train. I called Fozzie after the first race. I knew this was going to be the Derby or the Oaks. She was in my Derby top 10 list for a long time until they decided not to go to the UAE Derby. So look, I think she's a remarkable filly, and I'm looking forward to American racing being introduced to Shahama on Friday, but she's also going to be introduced to Echo Zulu, and that's a lot.
And she's 4 out of 4, so why not?
The sheets don't really tell us much that this horse is going to compete for a win, John.
No, well, for the figure, she's slow, but the Dubai figure, so let's see what happens.
I think the sheets hire me to do the Dubai sheet numbers.
Yeah, I think so, too.
I like that. I take pride in that. Anyway, go ahead.
Turner Loose, the last horse in the field, is a 20-1 shot. It's a Brad Cox trained horse. Coming off at 12, that's the top. 13 before that. So what about this 20-1 shot, the last horse in the field?
Looks slow to me.
Look slow is slow.
It's slow.
No
Look
shot.
slow is slow. No shot, Chad.
No
It
shot.
says.
No shot.
So 12-13 is no shot. 14-17,
We'll tell you
I'm
this,
putting all my money on the horse.
If anybody wants to know how good of a trainer Brad Cox is, look at this filly physically in person, and then know that he somehow won a grade 2 with her, and he deserves to go right to the Hall of Fame tomorrow. When she crossed the wire first in the Rachel Alexandra, I know you're supposed to be a trainer for 20 years or whatever it is. They should have got the plaque ready for him up in Saratoga Springs, because he needs to go to the Hall of Fame for winning the Rachel Alexandra with turn or loose.
Okay.
All right.
So your pick, Chad, again, you're going with Shada Hada.
Echo Zulu over Shaham.
Oh, okay.
I'm going with the hidden connection, the 20-1 shot, and I'm going to use Echo Zulu, Kathleen O, I guess, and I'll throw in Shishama because of respect.
Oh, you're like Sarah from Twitter. We're going with 4 picks. Let me also why don't I also give me a nostalgic and give me Vente Valentine. Give me a nostalgic and Vente Valentine underneath.
Vente Valentine's got no shot.
But your second horse is the
Shahama.
Okay. And John, I got to get your 4 again after the 7.
Okay, hold on. Let me put my glasses on. Not 7.
Put the binocs
like
on. You're putting the binoculars on.
You're not going with Echo Zulu.
No, I'm going with hidden connection.
You're not using. Oh no, you're going to use her a little bit.
Yeah, I'm using her for sure underneath. I'm going with Echo Zulu.
As your top choice.
No,
I'm sorry. Hidden Connection as my top.
I thought
choice.
I made you a believer for a second.
I was up since 4 in the morning.
Who's your top choice? Oh, the Hidden Connection. Okay, yeah.
Over the 4, 5, 7, 13.
13.
You know, I want to.
Okay, awesome. All right, guys. Lastly, good luck. I know it's going to be crazy out there on Saturday, especially, and I just want to applaud you guys, especially Chad, because you've been behind Cyberknife for months, and that prompted Jon to go out and bet all these futures. And everything is working out perfectly at this point. It's not easy to do. We know if anybody thinks it is, they're crazy. I hope the best of luck for you guys that Cyberknife comes in front, because this just doesn't happen very often. So good luck on Saturday.
Think about one thing, Craig. When the year Cyberknife was born, there were like 19,000 other horses born. Only 20 of them
yep.
out of all of them, have made it to Saturday.
And this horse is a 20-1 shot in the morning line. Not a favorite.
It's a lot less than 20-1, believe me. That's a ridiculous morning line. So, but that's another story for another time.
I'll talk to you.
All right.
I'll talk to you on Monday, Chad, after the race, and hopefully it's a celebration.
Oh, it'll be a celebration, all right.
It'll be a celebration. All right, guys.
Take care. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Talk to you soon. Be well. Stay safe.